understand. But before I come to you, in fact, there is Rahul Ishwar who's joining us, an ideologue here on Times Now. Rahul Ishwar, your understanding of the kind of statements which are being made by the Waqf board in the Supreme Court, where they are saying holding Ganesh Chaturthi is going to be insightful. It is going to lead to communal tension. Why?
There are two things. One, Ganesh also has a great history and legacy of our nationalism, national freedom struggle. Balagangadhar Tilak organized Ganesh also to fight against the British imperialism too. So it was a point of unity. And I would urge my Muslim brothers to remember it was Anandamat, Sannyasi and Fakir rebellion where the Hindu saints and Muslim saints came together, which formed the part of one of our first freedom struggle. So there is a great history of collectivity. We can understand and respect their apprehensions. At the same point of time, please understand, Ganesh Chaturthi is a passing festival. There is no Ganesh temple going to be consecrated in any ground. They may have their own inhibitions. We all respect that. But at the same point of time, when the council voted and the Honorable High Court also allowed government to take a decision, it is in the best interest of all communities that we in a very good way. So it is not going to be a huge issue, because I believe in that particular ground there are Shedam, Day and such kind of programs have been done. There is a dispute in that 2.1 acres of land for decades. So nobody is going to take that land away. Yes, apprehensions can be there, but the assurance and a consensus can be made, it would be good. And I would urge my Muslim brothers and sisters to consider this, because Ganesh also is one of the great celebrations we had in our nation. Even in Ganesh also, back in the independence days, Ganesh was dressed in Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose overcoat, and it was a huge hit at that point of time. So it's a socio-cultural celebrations too. And Muslim community of Maharashtra take part in the active Ganesh festivals in Maharashtra for many decades altogether. So I hope they should not use.
And that's interesting you say that, Rahul Ishwar, but because even as we speak, we have visuals, for example, of Jummah Namaz, which was allowed to be given outdoors the last day of Eid. Not just that, there were several such instances where you have Muharram processions across Delhi, across Mumbai, across almost every state in India. You had Muharram processions on, of course, public lines as well as roads which were being blocked, and yet today they are saying that Ganesh Chaturthi should not be allowed. Thank you so much, Rahul Ishwar, for joining us. Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan also joining us. Madhav, this is very interesting, because one of the posers that the Supreme Court has put to the petitioners, the Waqf board, is that if you contend that the title suit lies with you, that you have ownership of this land, why allow Independence Day, Republic Day, but say no to Ganesh Chaturthi for a day or two?
Certainly a question that the BJP is asking in the state of Karnataka. In fact, we have seen how the High Court has actually allowed for these restrictions. The fact that there is no unrestricted access to the Eidgah Maidan as far as the Waqf board or other organizations are concerned. It's only during two festival days of Ramzan and Eid that they are actually allowed to hold prayers at that location. Now, rest of the days, of course, it's to be used as a playground. As you rightly said, 15th August and 26th January are the other days when, in fact, other non-religious public events are to be celebrated. The national flag is allowed to be hoisted there. In such a situation, certainly the question coming in from BJP is that why not allow this particular festival to be hosted there as well, and show for the kind of tolerance or broad-mindedness. That is the question coming in. However, with the High Court having upheld this position and empowered the state government to take a call on this, what really will the Supreme Court have to say? Because Kapil Sibal has come out to put up forth an argument that for over 100 years the prayers have been held over there in that particular location, and therefore this should not be allowed, is the contention coming in from Mr. Sibal for, of course, the Waqf board, which has filed this petition before the Apex Court. What's the view that the court will take as far as these arguments are concerned is what we need to watch out for.
In fact, let me go across to Abdul Razak. He's a representative with the Waqf board as well. Abdul Razak, now you are very familiar with the entire case, which is why I'm going to ask you one direct question which has been asked by Justice Gupta himself. He says that if you say that you have the title, the suit for this, then why have you allowed its use for Independence Day and Republic Day? If it is your property, why are you allowing it for use for Republic Day, Independence Day, but not permitting a Ganesh Chaturthi? Why the grouse?
See, the Independence Day, the Republic Day and the state national day, state celebration day, that is the Karnataka Rajyotsava, can always be allowed because it does not reflect back to any other community. Because Muslims have an emotional attachment with this land, and this land was a graveyard since 1831, and namaz has been happening on this land since 1871 as per the Supreme Court final verdict in the year 1964.
Which is quite different, however, from the division bench's order as well, Abdul Razak, that you know very well about, where it reminded everyone about tolerance being the cornerstone of Indian constitution.
Meghna, on 25th August, the single judge bench gives status quo to be maintained. An order like the status quo has to be maintained.
Which was squashed by the division bench.
The 26th, the government goes there and challenges the single judge bench. This happens on the single day. Both the judges take up the matter, listen to the matter, and give out a verdict that you can go ahead and install a Ganesha. I'm saying, where is the wisdom of the judges here?
Abdul Razak, he did not actually say that, so let's not mislead our viewers. You are, of course, very well aware of the facts of the case, but it did not say go ahead and install a statue of Ganesha. It is limited use of land for a limited amount of period for Ganesh Chaturthi.
The government is hell-bent, adamant, and the government wants to install a Ganesha there. The government has given up for these fringe elements.
It says it's limited use for the festivities, religious festivities and cultural festivities, which
organizations want to create a communal tension in this place, which we don't want.
You know, Mr. Abdul Razak Khan, the BJP is also saying that an adequate opportunity was given by the BBMP. 42 days was given to the Waqf board to prove ownership through documents. But that did not happen. Why were the documents not submitted is a question they are asking. And that is a matter that is coming up before the court as well.
Please listen, Madhav. The litigation was between the corporation and the Muslim side. That is the Waqf board. Now the corporation claims that the corporation asked us to submit the document. Who is the corporation to question us when the corporation itself is in the witness box? How can they question us?
No, but the government says that this is revenue land. You have not been able to produce ownership documents, and therefore the government is now claiming that this is revenue land. I'm not taking a final call on this, but the point is that if you are unable to prove... Sir, were you able to prove the documents? That is a simple question I'm asking you.
Madhav, for your very kind understanding, I was physically present in each and every hearing in front of the Joint Commissioner of Corporation. We have given all the documents required to give a khata. The Chief Commissioner has held a press conference and very openly said this land does not belong to the corporation. This land belongs to the Waqf board. Please come ahead, apply for a khata. We will give you the khata. This was said by the Chief Commissioner. But the Joint Commissioner overrules the Chief Commissioner's press conference and he says...
No, but that is the whole point. You were not able to... Despite the title being ruled in whoever's favor, the fact is that those documents do not exist today, which has caused this entire problem, which has put this entire land in a grey area, and which is why even the Supreme Court bench is asking, if you are owner, why are you allowing it for Independence Day? If it is your property, then why are you allowing it to be used for Republic Day? Because the courts have not, once again sir, the courts have themselves not given unrestricted access 365 days a year to the Waqf board or any other party. So that obviously is going to raise some serious questions about the clarity in terms of the ownership.
Independence Day is a national festival celebrated by Muslims as well. So we do not have any objections to Independence Day or Republic Day or the State Day. What I'm trying to convince you is that this land has always been in the position of Muslims right from the days of the Wadiyars and before.
Abdul Razak, I'll ask you a direct question. While you say that you have full control and possession as well as ownership of this land, are you allowed daily namaz there? No, you are not.
No, it's a Eidgah ground. It's a Eidgah ground.
Itself, you're not allowed daily namaz. You know that, which is why let's not mislead the viewers here. There are no daily namaz. It is being used as a playground. Correct me if I'm wrong, Abdul Razak. Let me just put out the facts. Let me know if I'm wrong anywhere. Daily namaz is not allowed.
It is not the question of not allowed. It is not a masjid where you offer everyday namaz. It is an Eidgah. Eidgah means Eidgah. On the day of Eid, you offer namaz.
Only on certain days are you allowed to offer namaz there?
See, I will tell you one thing. Right from 1964 to till date, we do not have any problems on this land. There are some extremist Hindu anti-social elements who want to create communal tension, who always come forward during elections and create certain issues like this, which we are objecting to. We are not objecting to Ganesha pandals. I, being a Muslim, I attend many Ganesha pandals. I am not against Ganesha pandals.
If you're not against the Ganesh pandal, then why not allow limited use? You say it's your land, then allow limited use.
On a Muslim emotional land, a place where Muslims have their emotions attached, not on this land.
Okay.
Why do you want it here? If you do not have place, please tell us.
Okay.
During COVID times when you did not have place,
of course, you'll have
we
to
opened
convince
our
the Supreme
masjids.
Court regarding that, because the High Court clearly did not buy, the division bench clearly did not buy that argument. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me go across to Madhav. Madhav, this is of course going to be a very complicated legal case as well, as the Supreme Court listens, but very pointed questions being asked to the Waqf board there by the Apex Court.
Well, yes, in fact, we just were reporting that particular question because Justice Gupta asked that if you're the owner, why are you allowing for Independence Day?
Yes.
Now, to which a response has come in saying that your lordships know the consequences. The Supreme Court has said that the possession is mine, is what Kapil Sibal has said. He is, of course, for the petitioner in this case, that is the Waqf board. The Solicitor General Tushar Mehta then, of course, comes in. He says that there are two issues. First, declaration of Waqf. Sibal then says, I'm not finished, my lords, and he continues to read the Supreme Court judgment. He who has possession has been proven in fact and is in the public domain. Possession, use, presence of burial grounds are established. After this, a very interesting thing happens. And then he goes on to say that, goes on to describe what is happening. He says that the main contention of the Waqf in their petition is that they have contended that the High Court, in violation of a 1964 judgment of this court in Civil Appeal 469 of 1962, had settled the question and possession was given in favor of Waqf. It's a violation of Places of Worship Act 1991, changes religious character. It was a burial ground for Muslims till 1877, then had been serving as an Eidgah for the local Muslim population, saying that the situation prevailing in the area has become tense on account of the dispute mischievously sought to be created by respondents, and if the High Court order is allowed to operate, it could aggravate matters, further leading to the irreparable harm to the communal harmony in the area. Now, these are some of the arguments that have been submitted as far as the affidavit is concerned, and he is in fact talking about how the matter has come up before the courts. Now, clearly these are going to be some important arguments as well. What is the precedent, what has transpired in the courts, and what has happened following that. All of these are going to be certainly things that the court is going to look at. The Karnataka High Court, of course, felt that the final call should be with the state government. Will the Supreme Court rule otherwise? Will they have, for instance, any kind of interim order or stay as far as the Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations at the Eidgah Maidan is concerned? That's something that we're going to be watching out for very closely.